I was completely shocked at the season finale of WandaVision. Gave me almost everything I wanted it to give. Yeah, I didn't get some of the stuff I thought I would get. Some of my theories didn't come true, but nonetheless, the payoff was crazy high. I absolutely loved this episode. We got to start with the visual appeal of this. What did you think, man, about the action set pieces in this? They were absolutely amazing. If it did not feel like I was sitting in a movie theater, I don't know what did. I was blown away by the visual appeal of this. I thought it was so well done, especially given the fact that it went so well with the story. None of it felt like it was there just to impress the audience. It all felt necessary, right? It all felt important to the story as we move throughout this final episode. I was very impressed by it, and the CGI seemed very seamless to me as well. Yes, they did blur some scenes a little bit to take away from maybe a little bit of the rough edges that the CGI might have had, but the storytelling was so good that it didn't even matter. You loved it. So that's the first thing that jumped out to me, was how high the quality was of the visuals in this. The CGI, all of it was absolutely fantastic. And then the second thing I really loved about this was the performances in this. They were so nuanced, so good. And that's what makes WandaVision such a good series. And this last episode so good. The performances in this were really good because they were complex performances, because they were moving through different periods and times. The nuances and how they had to capture all of that as they moved through the different years was done so well. When they moved to the next generation, you saw the performances change to mirror people during that time period. I was so impressed by that. And then the little nuance pieces that we got in this show, like Wanda and her accent changing and all of that stuff going on. These small little attention to details that we got throughout this whole series was so impressive to me. So I thought the performances in WandaVision, just period, were good. But in this episode, I thought it was really good because it was so nuanced and we went through so many different stages. We get sadness in this episode. And I'm not gonna lie, man, there were some scenes in there that were real tearjerkers. We had mild humor, we had action adventure, we had drama, we had everything, and the actors did so well at capturing all of these different genres really wrapped within one episode. Now, if we're talking about a standout performance in this episode, you know where I'm going. You know what? I want to know what you think. Who was a standout in this episode? Now, for me, it had to be Catherine Hahn. She's amazing as Agatha, so much so that we have to see her again. It would be a waste not to see her in any more MCU movies or shows. We will see her again anyway. You can tell that by the dialogue that goes on between her and Wanda. And if it's any reflection of their relationship in the comic books, we do know that we will see her again. But her performance was absolutely amazing in this. I also liked Elizabeth Olsen. Everybody was good in this, but Catherine's performance was a real standout in this. I also love the interchange between those two, especially their battle sequences, but also just their dialogue was funny as well. Those two have a lot of chemistry going back and forth, Agatha and Wanda, and it's appropriate because their relationship is connected in the comic books as well. So she was just such a great choice for this role. But I thought that everybody did such a good job here. Even the kids did a really good job in this as well. I also thought the element of sacrifice here was really big too, as Wanda had to really give up her reality. She had to let it go, and she knew as a result of that it was going to be some consequence. She knew that she would lose her kids because of that. She knew that she would lose Vision because of that. And I thought that that aspect of the storytelling was so well done. The interaction between the two Visions, really essentially as the two Visions almost become one. And some had theorized that they thought that at some point in this episode the two would merge and become one Vision. Now, we don't see that physically, but we do see that in a sense when Vision that was created by Wanda gives the real Vision, which is the actual Vision, his full scope of memories, and then he realizes who he was. So it was really good to see that as well, and it was important, right? Because now we know that Vision can continue on in the MCU, because essentially White Vision is the real Vision. So I thought that that was really well done also. I was a little disappointed with Monica in the sense that I really wanted to see her more engaged in the battle. We get her at the end. I was thankful, though, that we did get to see her in her full energy form. And that's what you see when those bullets are going through her. She has the ability almost instantaneously to convert her body to full energy, and the bullets went through her, and we saw that. And it was really cool to see the kids' powers highlighted as well, and I think that we might see them later on also. So I was disappointed because I really wanted to see Monica engage more in the battle, but I think that we didn't get that on purpose. I think that we didn't get that because they are saving that for Captain Marvel too. I think that that was very much done on purpose. I think that we got so much focus between Catherine, or between Agatha and Wanda, because it was such an important part of Wanda's story and really bringing out the full potential of the Scarlet Witch. So I thought that that was so well done also. Every aspect of this I thought was just really, really amazing. I like the cutscenes as well. That first cutscene where Monica goes into the theater, no one's there, and then we see the transformation of the scroll, and she says that, you know, a friend of your mom wants to see you, and Monica's like, where? And he points up. Some people theorize that that might have been Marvel. It's not Marvel. I'm almost 110% sure it is Nick Fury. I would bet the farm on it that it's Nick Fury. Also, that final cutscene, if you did not see the end of it, that final cutscene where we see Wanda in a cabin sipping some coffee, and then as we move deeper into the cabin, we can see the Scarlet Witch, which is reading the book and learning. Now, here's what's interesting about that, and I don't know if you picked this up or not, but check it out. That looked like a mountainous region. Yeah, she was on a lake, but there were mountains behind her. Now, here's what I'm theorizing here. That was, I think it's Woongor is the name of that. Mount Woongor, I believe, is the name of that place. That is her birthplace. If that is the case, that is her birthplace. Now, here's why that's fascinating. Because that is where she picked up her power. That's where she was born. Now, she was born with mutant ability. She is a mutant. But she was not always born with the power of the full scope of power that she has. She got that from Cthulhu. Now, this is how Wanda gets her abilities. We don't know this from the movies, but this is what happens in the comic books. Basically, Cthulhu was the god of chaos. It ruled the earth for a long time. But he was imprisoned in Mount Woongor. I think that's how you say that. If not, somebody correct me. Wanda was born in Mount Woongor. And he gave her a touch, just a fraction of his power, of that chaos magic. And that's how Wanda gets the chaos magic. That's the origin of her magic. Now, how they tell that in the movies, who knows if they'll follow the script with the comic books or they'll retcon it in the movie. They may not tell us at all. But if you're wondering how Wanda got her chaos magic, then that's how she got her chaos magic. I also thought it was crazy, right, when you heard Agatha say that she is more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme. Now, for those of you all who don't know, you should know by now anyway, with what you've seen in the movies, that Doctor Strange is crazy powerful. And if they're saying that she is more powerful than that, that makes her insanely powerful. And that's another thing I love so much about this whole series, finally profiling her power into a proper way, a proper extent, because she's so much more powerful than what we saw with her just in the movies. And WandaVision gives you the full scope of this lady being a beast. As a matter of fact, somebody asked me about doing a Versus series, putting Wanda against Jean Grey in the Phoenix. And I know when I saw this thing online where folks were talking about that, so many people were so quick to say that Jean Grey would win that hands down. You all, for people who were saying that, we'd have to do the Versus series. I'm not going to give away who I think would win that. We'll do the Versus series and we'll put those two against each other. But you got to understand how powerful chaos magic is. You really do. Because, WandaVision should give you a hint of it. It is no joke. And if you read House of M, you know it's no joke. The last thing I want to leave with is this. I thought it was interesting if we go back into that final cutscene and we see Wanda kind of split. We see Wanda doing her own thing. She's out there on the porch sipping some tea. But then we see the Scarlet Witch in there learning. And to me, that shows even progression of her own powers. The fact that now she has actually the ability to kind of divide herself. In there, one place learning, and another place enjoying a cup of tea. So there was so much good about this. I know that there were so many more things that we could talk about. Maybe we'll do a live stream on Sunday, man. It's been a long time since we've done a live stream on the channel, and we can get into this as well. If you've not seen WandaVision, make sure that you catch up. 9 episodes. They go pretty quickly, and this is fantastic. The show was so well done on so many different levels. Absolutely fantastic. Guys, we are going to be covering Lois and Superman as well. I've seen the first 2 episodes. I'll jump on and share my thoughts about that. Then I do want to start picking that up week by week. We are going to cover Chaos Walking. We are going to talk about Coming to America 2 as well. All those things on deck, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.